Almost looks like a goblin's face with a jester's cap on. With big open mouth, pointy horns or ears. God, I love that flag.
Sometimes I feel weak, I can't move my feet. Now we're miles away. Sometimes I can't breathe, so effortlessly you left me with nothing.
Thank you for your service, sir. Good morning. Wow. She's looking beautiful today. Oh, look, even the sun's coming out. It's supposed to rain this afternoon, though. Oh, coffee. I'm just finishing up my coffee. I just got a text from Gagan. He's asked me if I'd throw a bit of time in and put some more shavings down. It's like the garlic, it never ends. But I guess that's farming, right? It doesn't end. It just keeps going and going. But yeah. I gotta spend another week here. I want to go so bad. Yeah. Tomorrow is supposed to be, I think it's tomorrow? Is it tomorrow or Tuesday? Can't remember. I think it's tomorrow. It's supposed to be nice. And if it is, then we're going to get that there insulation on the bottom of Bunky. I don't know if that's probably not going to solve my little crack problem right there. But future me problems, I don't know. That is so cool. Look at that cloud. How it's just behind that little peak right there. But like, oh, it's just like nestled into that little, oops, sorry, that little valley on the other side of that peak. It's, I love that. Oh. Yeah. So, yeah, got some other things I want to talk about. Maybe we'll talk about those too. Anyway, we'll talk at you soon. Nope, wrong way. Yeah, that's it right there. Well, haven't been out here for a couple days, and we've had some good hard rains in the last couple days, but this is definitely drying out a lot better. Looks like somebody's come along and maybe assisted a little bit by putting a little extra trench in here. Must be a big rock right there. But yeah, she's draining much better. Probably cut a couple lines in here and drain some of those out, but I'm not here to do that today. I have other priorities and I can't carry the phone and wheelbarrow at the same time. We'll talk to you soon. Well, in my rush to get things done, I didn't put it down thick enough because I wanted to get done by the end of the day. And yeah, I own my shit. I got lazy. Instead of bringing one more load down, would have made it good. Now I got to bring a few. But she drained really well. That big puddle there is gone. The puddle that was in the middle here is gone. The puddle over here is gone. This lake is gone. Everything drained away. Just beautiful. This is still a problem area, but it's not a problem area for the path per se. Like, I'm just going to clear that little ditch out just to see if we can get that moving again a little bit. But the path itself, all the water is being pulled away from the path. So yeah, we have a little bit here left over from when it was flooded all the way up here. So, because I was talking about cutting a line right across here, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to build that path up. I think it'll work fine. Yeah. This is my worst spot, and this is a problem zone. Yeah. Because the sides are so soft that it pushes in and fills in the thing there. And then it just becomes more mushy. Actually, it's a little firmer, but no. My heels are sinking pretty good. You can see how soft that is. So I think I'm going to dump an entire load right here, just to firm it up. I think that's my goal. That's goal number 1. And then carve the path again. But in order to do that, I got to fill a barrel. Oh man, I don't want to do this today. Okay, we're going to do this. Talk to you soon. I do my gloves. Oh, they're there. You know, I was thinking about things from yesterday. I tend to do that. I think a good way to help. Canada was founded, by nomadic tribes. There we go. By nomadic tribes. They hunted and they gathered. Whew. It's toasty in there, I'll tell you. They hunted, they gathered for sustenance. Now, a white man came across them, and we learned how to hunt and gather for sustenance. And then we came in, we built our cities, we built our farms, we expanded into the landscape, slowly but surely. But we've also, in our process of expanding into the wilderness, we have restricted the right to go into the wilderness. I mean, I guess you could hoof it by foot, but to use modern technology, you know, i.e. cars, bringing a camper with you so you have somewhere to stay while you're in there, we've restricted the rights. And we've restricted the rights for hunting and gathering. What this country was founded on, hunting and gathering. We've restricted the rights to that. Where am I going with this? Canada, 40 million people. And I think the number is like 80% or 90% of Canadians live within 100 kilometers or 100 miles, whatever it is. I don't know what the statistic is. I know it's 100 whatever of the US border, right? We tout and puff our chest up about all our natural resources, our ability to get, we have everything to sustain ourselves, yada yada yada, and we have all this natural land to explore and to utilize. The only people allowed to explore are those that are pretty much corporations. They can explore, and when they find something, they can claim that land and buy that land or whatever and do whatever they need to do, whether that be drill for oil, what am I saying here? Mine for goods, forestry. Forestry owns most of the land. Well, not really owns it. Let me rephrase that. They don't own any of the land. Well, most of it. Yeah, most of the land is owned by the government. It's leased to the forestry industry, which is a good thing. I mean, they employ thousands of people every year. It's actually a fantastic job. I never got into it. It was a where can I put this? I was a different person back then. Anyway, I do have a point to where I'm getting to, but I just trying to figure out how to tie the two together. And let me take a few minutes, walk this down, pour it out. I want a nice big pile for that spot. Okay, let's carry this conversation on in a minute. Oh, my gloves. Canada is a bountiful land. And we say it belongs to our people. And we say our government is doing what's best interest of the land and the people. If I was to get, sorry, I mentioned this a long time ago. In order for me to carry a fishing pole and not get myself in trouble in Bunkie, I need to have a fishing license. Okay? And I understand why, the conservation side of things, it makes sense. Okay. But I think there should be a difference here. And I think, now you could say, you know, there's different types of licenses. There's sport license and there's conservation license. And what I'm going to suggest is a sustenance license. A license where you can fish, as long as you can prove you're a Canadian citizen, any water in Canada to eat, to feed yourself. But under the current rules, we don't have that right. I mean, the natives have that right because it's ancestral land. But Canadians don't have that right. But I'm trying to understand what's the difference between ancestral land, or sorry, what delineates ancestral land. How long a period is that? Because the pioneers that first came to Canada, the explorers that came to Canada, relied on that sustenance to survive. Now, it could be said, well, they took advantage of the native people. Well, that's not the native culture. The native culture was no one owns Mother Earth. Still is to this day. So, Mother Earth provides a bounty that is harvestable, sustainable. It's when we get carried away with commercialization of it. Hence, fishing license, small game license. So my suggestion is, why couldn't there be? We have in the charter. We have in the charter of Rights and Freedoms. No one can stop any Canadian citizen from crossing any provincial border, traveling anywhere in Canada for work. why is there not something in that charter that says a Canadian citizen can sustain themselves anywhere in Canada? Why is it the corporations can benefit from our charter, i.e. under the guise that it's benefiting people? Why do the corporations get a benefit to our charter over the people? I don't understand this one. So, back on the fishing license, because if these licenses were about, and I'm not proponent this, and I don't think it should ever happen, okay, I'm going to just say things that, you know, are on my mind about a particular topic. If the fishing license is sustained, oh no, hold on, my barrel's full. We'll talk in a minute. Hey, look, I remembered my gloves. Look, dementia doesn't have me completely yet. I think the Canadian Charter needs to be changed. Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. I think it needs to be an amendment made to it. The Charter is for the rights and freedoms of all Canadians, right? But we haven't a benefit of the Charter to the corporations, whatever that means, to the profit margins of corporations over the people. I think there should be an amendment. Now, I'm not saying we need to take out Canadian can travel anywhere in Canada for work. I think that should stay. That is a perfectly logical thing to say, but I think you need to add on to that. I think there should be an amendment there that a Canadian should have the right to sustain themselves at any means possible. And that means small game. I'm not talking deer and moose. I don't know, maybe that's a conversation for another time, but I'm talking small game. Small trapping. Can't go to trap these days, not allowed. You have to have a trapper's license in order to buy a trap. Place a trap. Actually, I think you can buy them, but you just can't place them. Or something to that effect. So you can't have a trap. You can't fish for fish without a license. So you can't sustain yourself on fish. There is no meat product. Actually, there's two meat products, or meat, two ways Canadians can sustain themselves with meat. We're allowed to go into the forest, pick berries, pick mushrooms. We're allowed, well, if you get a license, you're allowed to pan gold, eat them in BC, which is only like 20 bucks or something. But you have to be a BC resident. But to fish or sustain yourself, you need to pay a license for that as well. And I think that's wrong. That's wrong in every possible way. With all the open land we have and the vacant land we have, why can a Canadian not just go out there and sustain themselves? Why is this illegal? I don't understand this. I think our charter needs to adjust. If it's for the benefit of the people of Canada, then every aspect needs to be accepted. And I think the sustainability, one to sustain themselves, should be a fundamental right. That's why we have food banks, right? But there's only 2 meat sources that you are legally allowed to hunt, trap, whatever, to capture, to sustain yourself. 1, mice. 2, rats. It's the only meat sources you're legally allowed to hunt without a license, without authorization, without a limit, without any repercussions. There we go. In Canada. And I think that is a little much. Don't you? I don't know. Things to make me go, Maybe I'll title this, does our Constitution need a amendment? Yeah, I think I will. Does our charter need an amendment? Yeah. See how many people stick around to find out what it's about, what I'm actually talking about, because this is going to be near the end. Anyway, it's my last load. I'm going to go sprinkle it in little spots, and we're going to call it because it's about to start raining. Well, actually, it has started raining, but just drizzling. So I'm going to get the camera out of the rain, and yeah, we'll talk. Well, the rain chased me out of the trail. Yeah, so I'm gonna get some water. So, about this this change I'd like to make. I'd like to make some specification on it. Because, anybody and their dog can say, oh, I'm sustaining myself. When I say a sustainable license or sustainable rights, I'm talking short lunches. I'm talking same day cooking, a camp within so many, it has to be consumed within so many meters of its capture point or something along those lines. I don't know all the details. This is just an idea, and I don't know, but I think it'd be more appropriate if it's called the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms for the people of Canada. I think the right to sustain oneself should be fundamental. Should be a human right. But it's behind paywalls. And I don't think that's right. So let me know what you think. I'm going to cut it off early so I can chill today and relax. Welcome to the Fringe.